Hello, Sally. Good morning. Oh, wow. You're in a new place. Where are you right now, Sally?
I'm on holiday with my family and my friend's family, so I'm staying in a homestay in Pantrit.
Ah, all right. So how many days are you staying there?
We stay here for 2 nights, 3 days.
2 nights, 3 days. And today is it your second night?
Yeah,
All right. So you'll be leaving tomorrow, right?
yes.
Yeah, so how's everything going so far?
I think it's going very well because yesterday we went to the beach and
Mm.
find some of the shell in the seashore, and I played with my like the daughter of my friends of my mom's friends, and we had fun a lot. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that sounds great, Sally. All right, so without further ado, Sally, like last time, we started with Unit 3, which is all about going through the costumes. All right, and as I remember, we are done with some of the vocabularies in here, and we stopped by body scanner. So this time, we'll continue with packet of cigarettes. Okay, so it is actually very understandable by just looking at the picture. When you say a pocket, it's like a box of it. Yeah, so let's say that in a box of a cigarette, there are 30 sticks or 25 sticks like that. I'm not certain with the number. Then we also have here carton of cigarettes. So this is fewer than the packet. Yes. Then bottle of spirits. So what do you mean by bottle of spirits, Sally? Do you have any idea
Bottle
about
of
it?
bottle of sea spirits. It's just like the it's just like the beer. When we drink it, we will get tired. Just get tired quickly because it's like alcohol.
Yeah, so these are alcoholic drinks. And you know what? Perfect example for bottle of spirits are vodka or some wine or even like whiskey. There is even a song to it like I take my whiskey like that. So if you are into TikTok, you will know that song.
Yes.
Yes, like that. So yes, that's the example of bottle of spirits. Then we have the extra words in here, Sally. So luggage, you already know about that. So we have exotic species. So what does exotic species mean? Can you please read?
Exotic species means a plant, animal, or insect that is taken from its native habitat into another country.
Yes, so they are exotic because they are rare. Like that. They're like one of a kind. Okay. Like what are example of exotic species just like panda?
Yes, or
Yes,
kangaroo.
that's right. Kangaroo is known from Australia and panda is known from China. So they are becoming exotic. Okay, then we have here smuggle.
Smuggle is to take goods illegally into a country.
Yes. Okay. You know what? It's not just about goods. We can also, there is even a crime for smuggling when, let's say that if you're traveling to the USA, you can only bring, I think, I know, if you're traveling to the Philippines outside the USA, you're from the USA traveling to other country, you can only bring the maximum amount of $10,000. Okay, but if you're bringing $10,000 with you, you have to declare it that you have that money. If you don't, that means you're taking it illegally into a different country and they can actually file a case against you, which is smuggling or smuggle. Like that. Same thing with other products like some designer items from the US, if you take them illegally without declaring it to the customs, you will be faced with smuggling case. Okay, then we have here tax or duty. What's that mean? What's that mean?
Tax or duty is money you pay to the government for certain goods, cigarettes, alcohol, and more.
Yeah, so how does the tax work there in your country, Sally? Because here in our country, whenever we buy goods or whenever we avail some services, it is included to the price that we're paying. But when you're going to look at the receipt, then that is a variable. There's like a tax that you paid for it. Compared in the US, it's actually different because they are only showing you the price for the goods itself. Then once you pay in the counter, you still have to pay for you still have to pay extra money for the tax of that goods, like that. How about
Uh, I
there?
I think I don't understand much about tax in Vietnam, but usually when we buy something in the supermarket or a store in the bill, we also have the tax. I think it's working just like in your country in the Philippines.
Yes, that way you don't have to calculate how much tax are you going to pay, like that, because it's all in there and it's more convenient. Yeah. Okay, then we have in here duty-free shop. So this is a shop where you can actually buy some things that is like a souvenir for your family at home, where you don't have to pay for the tax. You just have to pay for the items itself, like that. That's why it's called duty-free shop. And there is every airport, there is always a duty-free shop. Yeah. But take note that when it says duty free shop, it doesn't mean that it's actually cheaper. Everything that are sold at the airport are pricey. Compare if you're going to buy directly to the mall or directly to the outlet of that store. Okay, and we have in here duty free allowance. What does it mean, Sally?
Duty-free allowance is the amount of goods you're allowed to take into a country without having to pay tax.
Yeah, so let's say that you are a business owner. Yeah, so you are an online seller. Like you would buy imported things from the US and you would import it to Vietnam, like that. Okay, so you actually have duty-free allowance, but if you are importing more products into Vietnam that where we call excess, okay, that means you have to pay extra money for the tax of it. Okay, and this is what I mean earlier when I said a value added tax or variable tax, like that. Okay, this is actually added to the price of every item that you buy. So, you will know about it, Sally, whenever that you buy something from the mall or even in the pharmacy or any store that will issue a receipt from you. So once you read the receipt, you can see the price of the item, value added tax, and other taxes, like that, and the total price of that item, including the tax, like that. And we have here declare. So what does
Mm.
it mean?
If you have something to declare, you have goods that you must pay tax on.
Yes, okay. So they will actually ask you, oh, like, what do you have in there? Like, what's inside of your luggage? What inside of this box? Then you have to declare it that, oh, I actually bought some Louis Vuitton bags like that that are worth $100,000, like that. So you have to declare it. Okay, but if you don't have something to declare, you can just go through with the green channel. That means you have nothing to declare. And we have here red channel. Okay, actually, when we are on the road, green means go, right? So at the custom, if you have nothing to declare, you just have to go to the green channel. Okay, but if you have something with you, that needs some declaration with a custom officer, then you have to go through with a red channel. That means you have to stop in there, then declare the things that you have with you, like that. Then banned goods, these are the goods that are illegal to bring into another country when you travel. Then we have here restricted goods. So what do you mean by restricted goods, Sally?
Restricted goods is the goods that have controls over the quantity you can bring in. Example, some food products, some animal products, some blanks, some souvenirs made from endangered species.
Yes. All right. So it's very understandable from its own definition, Sally. What is banned goods and restricted goods? So they are like quite similar to each other, but actually they differ. So what are the differences between banned goods and restricted goods, Sally?
Banned goods is the some like dangerous things that we can't bring into another country, and restricted goods is like we can bring it, but just the like in the country in the control of the like the number of it.
That's right. Yes, it is allowed, but there's some limitation of it. Yes, just like what I told you before, that you can actually bring some lotion with you, some shampoo or any other skincare products that you may use during your travel in your carry-on bag. However, it they only limit it to what's that? Maximum of 500 ml. Or let's say 250, like that. It depends to the airline. If it's beyond 1000 ml, 500 ml, then that means you have to check that one in. Don't bring it with you into the airplane. Okay, so that is an example of restricted goods. So now, any question about the vocabulary here, Sally?
No.
No. All right. So here,
Um,
um,
hello.
what's that? Like, why do you think that customs categorize luggage differently?
What do you mean?
Because if you can remember last time we learned about carry on bag, like that, check-in luggage, like that. So in the custom they actually categorize luggage differently. Like, oh, this one you can actually carry this one with you into the plane. Oh, but this one you cannot carry it, you have to check this one in. So why do you think that they do that?
I think they do that to ensure that the products or the goods that we take on the plane to another country is safe. And like some people they take a gun or drugs. It's very dangerous. It can cause accidents while traveling on the plane.
Yes, I completely agree with you, Sally. And of course, when we say different categories of luggage, they require different security protocols. So if you have like a checked baggage, you have to go through with the central scanners. But if you only have a carry-on bag with you, then you just have to go through with a cabin security check. Yes, and it's more convenient. Okay, so in here, Sally, we're going to listen to the dialogue of Peter, who has flown in from the city that doesn't sleep, which is New York City. And he is actually going through the costumes. So here, I will let you listen, take note of the answer, then you're going to send me the answer, then we will practice later. So here it is, Sally. Unit 3.
Going through customs.
Hi, could you put your bag on the table, please?
Yes, sure.
Would you mind opening it for me, please?
Yes, of course.
Did you pack it yourself?
Yes, I did.
Where have you flown in from?
New York City.
Is this your first time in the UK?
Yes.
Is there anyone else travelling with you?
No.
Can I see your passport, please?
Yes. Here you are.
Okay. And what's the purpose of your visit?
I'm visiting some friends and relatives.
And how long do you plan to stay?
15 days.
Where will you be staying?
At my uncle's house.
Have you got anything to declare?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've got this bottle of whiskey, but I got it in the duty-free shop.
That's all right. That's within your duty-free allowance. Okay, you can go now. Enjoy your stay.
Thanks.
All right. Do you want to listen one more time, Sally?
No.
Okay. So, let me see your answers.
Okay, so I will write it in the chat box.
Yes, please.
I'm finished.
All right. So far, most of your answers are correct. Oh, actually, all of your answers are correct. However, in number one, it is in present continuous tense. Would you mind opening it for
Opening.
me? Like that. Okay, but it's all right because you still got the main verb of it or the base form of the verb. So this time, Sally, we are going to practice. So I'll be the costume officer and you'll be Peter. Okay. Hi. Could you put your bag on the table, please?
Yes, sure.
Would you mind opening it for me, please?
Yes, of course.
Did you pack it yourself?
Yes, I did.
Where have you flown in from?
New York City.
Is this your first time in the UK?
Yes.
Is there anyone else traveling with you?
No.
Can I see your passport, please?
Yes, here you are.
Okay. And what's the purpose of your visit?
I am visiting some friends and relatives.
And how long do you plan to stay?
15 days
Where will you be staying?
at my house.
Have you got anything to declare?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've got this bottle of whiskey, but I got it in the duty-free shop. That's
That's all right. That's within your duty-free allowance. Okay, you can go now. Enjoy your stay.
thanks.
Yes. So you actually heard the actual audio of this dialogue between Peter and the custom officer, Sally. So what do you think about the custom officer's attitude?
I think he's checked everything very carefully. He asked many things and many details.
Yes, that's right. But do you know that that's just their job description is, and that is actually part of their responsibility as a custom officer. So sometimes as a traveler, we might find it very nosy or very annoying because of many questions, but they're just doing their job. And if they don't find anything suspicious, with you, then they won't be strict enough to hold you for so long so that you won't miss your flight. They will just let you go. And whenever you hear them saying, all right, enjoy your vacation, then that means you are free from the interrogation. Okay, so perfect for this one, Sally. You got it all correct. Now let's move on with Unit 4 immediately. It is all about at the hotel. So you've been to many different hotels already, Sally.
Yes.
So what's that like? What are the things that we have to consider to choose the best hotel when we travel?
Because when I'm on holiday, my dad usually book the hotel or accommodation. I think he usually like see the review in Google. Usually, how many stars the hotel get, like that. Because
Mm,
in Google it's more correct than in the other app.
all right. Yes, that is right. One thing to consider is to look for the reviews of their previous clients like that. And when we look at the reviews, we also have to balance the 1 star that other people give or and also the 5 stars that they give. But of course, if you're going to the 5 stars hotels, so there are only like few bad reviews. Yeah, because most of the 5 stars hotel are the hotels that will actually give you the best experience during your vacation. Okay, so let's take a look at the vocabularies in here. We have lift or the elevator. We also have, oh, I will let you read each vocabularies instead, Sally.
Receptionist, double room with a double bed, single room with a single bed, green room with two single beds, porter, bellboy, key card, pillow, minibar, trouser press, cot, safety deposit box or safe.
Yes. So do you have are there any words in here that are new to you or you know them but you still have questions about it?
Mm, I think porter and bellboy, what does it mean?
Ah, all right. You know what? When we actually check in or when we arrive at the hotel, that means we have a booking already. Then upon check-in, you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm going to check in under the name of AM." Okay, can I see your passport, please? They would ask you that, or any valid IDs to prove your identity, like that. So you have to show it, and they'll be saying, "Oh, you're gonna stay in room 304. It's in the third floor." Then, of course, you have luggages with you. So the porter boy will assist you to go to your room. You don't have to bring in all the luggages with you. You just have to hand it all to the porter boy. Then they actually have a big thing where they can just put the luggage. So it's like a trolley cart. They put your luggage in there, they will just push it, they will go through with you in the elevator, then they will assist you with your room like that. Yeah, so that is what the porter or bellboy is. That is their job. And most of them are actually handsome or good looking. Because, yeah, that's what I observed, Sally. Among most of the hotels that we check in, most of the bellboys are actually good looking. Because when you apply for a porter or bellboy, they would one of the basic requirement is a pleasing personality. So when they say pleasing personality, that means you are not really like very handsome, but at least you are good looking like that. Okay, and most of the porter are boys, not girls, because they'll be carrying big luggages, plus the big push cart too. Okay, so anything else, Sally?
Um, what is cut mean? The second last word.
Ah, all right. So this is what you need when you're traveling with a baby. Yes. So let's say that you have a 2-month old and you're traveling and you're staying in a hotel. So what would you do? Are you going to put the 2-month old onto on the bed with you when you sleep? So yeah, you can do that one. But if you're familiar with this cot, then you can ask for it. Yeah, you they or upon booking, you can actually say that I'm traveling with a baby, which is I'm staying with a baby which is 2 months old, like that. Then they will actually recommend to use the cot so that you can sleep soundly and you'll be well rested in staying in the hotel. So not all rooms have cots. You can actually ask it. Yeah, or they can recommend it to you if they see that you're traveling with a baby. So the other word for cot is just a crib. It's like a cage for the baby, but cage is a perfect word for animal. Like this one, Sally.
Oh,
Like, yes. So then the bellboy will go to your room, then bring this cot with you. Any more questions, Sally?
how about the trouser press and the safety deposit box or
All
safe?
Yes. Okay. So when we say trouser press, this is actually an appliance that will, what's that? That will, it's like an iron. Do you know flat iron that we use to flatten our clothes or uniform so that it's not
Oh yes.
crumpled like that? So yeah, like a trouser press is just an appliance that we can use to remove those, what do we call that one? The crumpled things that we can see in our clothes so that it will be plain. Yes. Or you can just put your clothes in there so that it won't be crumpled. No need to use the flat iron like that. Like, because usually when you put, how do I say this one? Usually when you put your clothes in the luggage, it will be crumpled. Yeah. So when you put your trousers in the trousers press, then it won't be crumpled. So this is an electric appliance that hotels have, like this. Look at this one, like that.
Oh,
Yes. Let's say that you're checking in that hotel because your cousin's wedding is coming. Yes, and you just want to be near the church or near the venue area. Okay, and you have your suits with you, or yeah, like for a man, they have suits. Okay, so they really need this trouser press so that they don't have to iron their clothes before joining the wedding, like that. And this is the purpose of it. Okay, so it actually looks like this one. So whenever that you see like this in the hotel, then this is not a mirror. This is a trouser press. All right. So anything else? Oh, safety deposit box. A box. So all of the banks have this one, Sally. And we call it vault, like that. So the purpose of the safety deposit, oh, actually no. Vault is different. Vault is a very big, it looks like a cabinet that is bulletproof and we put all the money in there. When we say safety deposit box, it's just a small box where you can actually set 4 digits of PIN to secure all your valuable things. Let's say that you're going out and you don't want to bring your gold bracelet, your gold watch, your money, you just want to take your ATM with you. Then sometimes there will be like cleaners in the hotel that will enter to clean the room. Okay, of course, you can trust them because they're strangers. Then, this is the purpose of the safety deposit box. You can put your valuable things in here. And only you will know the what's that? The pin or the password. But most of the time it's pin. Okay, so anyway, Sally, it's already time. So do you still have more questions?
No, that's all for the vocabulary.
All right, Sally. So thank you so much for joining our class. Enjoy the rest of your vacation and keep safe. Bye, Sally.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye.